Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Carlo of 4GQ TV, and today we have a very special guest who I'll get into in a moment. And everybody probably knows the special guest, or you should have seen some of his artwork somewhere along the way. But we have Paul and Gregory for 4GQ TV. Gregory is currently indisposed at the moment, but we have the one, the only, the amazing, fantastic artist known as Pope, and his handle is POPeART _ on Twitter. What's going on, Pope?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Finally got round to coming on the show. I think it's only took about a year.
Yeah, you got busy there for a little bit too, and it's very exciting to see your journey. I've known you a very long time, probably since like the end of 2012 or the beginning of 2013, and I have seen a lot of the stuff that you've done for the community. And you've done some stuff for me. I'm not gonna lie. You know, sometimes
I think you've probably been one of the only one out of the over 3,000 that I've done. That's probably had about 3 out of his. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you made 3 different versions for me, and then I tried to say, "Oh, I don't remember them," and you said, and you're like, "Here it is."
Honestly, it's I try not to do like repeats for people because obviously it's a little bit unfair for new people, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Just because my time is very limited, especially more so now, you know. But yeah, it's been a journey. I still now I kind of just think it's not really a journey. It's just me just plodding along each day, doing what I do, you know.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: how did you get started into art? What got you into it?
Oh, I mean, even when I was a young kid, I've always been good at drawing, you know. And I remember I used because I used to love Lego, you know. I used to have loads of Lego, and I used to actually draw the plans like how Lego do, like step by step. But I used to hand draw them all, and I thought I had came up with this cool concept, and I actually sent it off to Lego once. Because I thought, oh, I think this should go into production because this is like a cool model. But anyway, it didn't. And then gradually, as I went on, I used to draw portraits for people, or I used to draw their cats or their dogs, you know. So I used to make a bit of money, just you know, a bit pocket money, doing portraits for people. And then I used to draw a lot of tattoos and sell them to the tattooists. So I was never really into the 3D side, the computer generated side. It was always hand drawn, pen and paper. And then obviously later down the line, I was quite a mature person. I think I might have been in my 20s or something. I decided to go back to college, and that's kind of when I started learning interiors and architecture, a lot of 3D side of it, and that's the first time I had a bit dabble with 3D computer generated art, you know. And then after that, I just sort of found work doing 3D, you know. So hence why I still use 3D today.
Well, I know that throughout your journeys, which I've gotten to watch, you know, through Instagram and your Twitter account, you are someone who has traveled the world through your art. Basically,
Yeah.
You've taken on so many projects and sent to so many different places. What was that like for you to experience all of that?
No, it was cool. I mean, you know, you would have to, you know, there was times I would actually go to work thinking I was going to the office, and then you would just get the call saying pack a suitcase. you've got to go to Belgium tomorrow or today, and I'll go like, what time? And I'll go like in 2 hours. So yeah, I would have to dash over and then sort of see clients, work with the clients over sort of designs. But that was mainly interior design that I used to do a lot of that. And I think that's the one time I got to work with people like Warren Buffett, because I designed his European Innovation Center. And yeah, it's cool because you get to see all these different countries like Italy and Spain and Germany and France, and I've been to a few places in America, but generally it's living out of a suitcase or seeing airports and taxis, and that's it. Sitting in meetings all day. But then you'll see a little bit of the city on a night time. Maybe it's when you're trying to find somewhere to go for your tea,
That's really cool, man. Like, not a lot of people get to experience that. Even to this day, that are artists. I think that your talent goes far beyond what we can comprehend. You can do hand drawn art. You can do interior art. You could do 3D designs, and I've seen you take an idea and just throw it on a controller within 30 minutes, and it looked nice and shiny. The buttons, they gleamed with the light. It's like you had it all there, shorter than anyone else I've ever seen in my life.
It's funny because when I used to work in an office, I would get people watching us create things in 3D because I'm so fast at it. In fact, I used to do a lot of stuff with architects, and they actually stopped drawing some of the architecture because I used to be able to 3D it faster than they could draw it. So it just got to the point where I was doing these photorealistic renders with 3D trees and bricks and whatever it takes to build a house. So I did a lot of architectural 3D. But yeah, when it comes to the controllers, I deliberately do them in 30 minutes because they have to be done without thinking about. Because remember, I'm not doing graphics on controllers, I'm telling a story. So, when you see, lines coming across somewhere or shapes and bits of metal or, damage in certain areas, it's because, I'm trying to sort of tell the story on the controller as if this controller's went through the game, so it's been dropped and it's got scratched and it's been, shot at and it's got a bit of gun damage on it there, or if it's a character, like, and I did the Elder Scrolls, that's kind of based on one of the characters, and it's got all the chainmail down the sides and stuff, so yeah, or even the Doom controller when I did these for Bethesda, it's the it's the suit, so you get to see all the sort of ribbed leather and the sort of fragmented parts of his suit, but then that becomes the grip where you put your palm of your hand, and the red sort of part of his chest becomes the A button, so you're always kind of thinking what part of the controller is telling you the story, rather than just what you would probably normally see from controller designers is they'll just chuck a graphic on a controller, and that's it. End of.
You were talking about how people would stop and watch what you were doing. I actually have a friend who used to work on the old X-Wing TIE Fighter games for Lucas Games. And I was at his house once when they were working on, I think he was working on X-Wing Alliance, and it really was. I sat there for a couple hours and just watched him go from nothing to the interior of a cockpit. All just boom, boom, click, 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 and went. In my mind doesn't work like that or like yours at all, where he can just visualize and then put it on the screen, and I was just taken aback. You know, it's amazing to watch when people like you can do that.
Oh, I mean, definitely. I mean, because obviously I have I'm really like very dyslexic, so I struggle to read and write, but I can think three-dimensionally super fast. Right. You know, so it's funny how like my head will work. Creativity is, you might think of one idea whilst I've got 10. You might think of 10, I'll have 100. Yeah. It just works that fast. You know, and I think because I've been doing this for like, designing, let's say, for nearly 30 years, there's not much I haven't done. So you kind of have all that in your sort of knowledge bank, where you go, I remember I did a job like this like 16 years ago, or I remember I did a job like that 4 years ago. And you can kind of merge your sort of skills, and also the good thing, not just in design but possibly in life, is making lots of mistakes, because that's how you learn from them, you know. So I used to make mistakes that cost the company, thousands of dollars, you know. Right. But you correct it, you fix it, and then you just move on from it, you know. And you know, well, it didn't work, so let's try something else next time, you know. Don't ever be afraid to make mistakes, you know. And if it's at a cost of losing a lot of money, well, you're never going to do that mistake again, you know, because it's not cool to lose money.
So you said like you don't design a controller, you tell a story. Is it easier if you've already played the game, or if you have knowledge of the game for you to tell a story? Or can you just
because there's a lot of games, because I generally don't get to play a lot of games because I just don't get time, you know.
Right.
But there's enough information within, you know, just finding stuff off Google, or you might just watch a brief sort of trailer on YouTube or something, or maybe you might look at someone's game review, and you're sort of grabbing little snippets.
Yeah.
You've got to remember, it's sometimes you're not, how my mind is trained, is you're not just looking at the big picture. There might be just one tiny little part of someone's gun or suit, or there might be a little piece of environment in the background that just sparks the idea off, and it's like, bang, that's it.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of
that little attention to detail that can make it special.
Exactly. And then you just kind of like use that as your sort of backbone, let's say. And then you kind of like just sort of spiral off it, let's say, you know. So that's why, if you think I can come up with so many ideas, is because I'm using small sections of the bigger picture. So then I can just move to another section of the bigger picture and recreate that, and do you know what I'm saying? Rather than someone going full bang and just using the big picture, and then almost they've kind of done it in one big hit. I'm sort of fracturing it up into smaller pieces. But yeah, it's definitely been a huge journey, you know. And I think with my sort of design background, because I've worked in a lot of sort of retail and product design. You know, I've designed for most of the fragrance bosses for the likes of Boss and Lacoste and Ralph Lauren and stuff like that. I have a huge shopper insight knowledge, so I know how consumers shop, you know. So I know what I need to do with a piece of art or a controller to cause people to like something that I've done, because I'm using certain techniques in there to trigger the brain.
Right.
Um,
Marketing. You just naturally marketing is
Basically, yeah, that's what I used to do. I used to design
yeah
things to help brands sell billions
yeah
of dollars.
yep
So if you think about when I do a controller, it's if I really wanted to, if I focused enough attention to it, I could do it in such a way that it would just always sell, because the 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 attention and the love for it would overwhelm the majority of people,
Yep.
And I think I kind of did that with Needler, when I
yeah
Oh yeah.
when I did Needler. So how Needler come about was, I think someone had said, "Oh, Pope, do a Needler or something," and I was like, I don't even know what a Needler is, because obviously I was thinking, "Hey, what the hell's a Needler?" And then I was like, out of Halo, and I was like, "All right, okay," and I just kind of I whizzed that up in about 10 minutes. I created Needler in about 10 minutes, and I
wow
just posted it, and I just thought, well, there you go, there's your kind of fan art, and I think that kind of blew up into 14,000 likes, and then people, I think I sold over 3,000 of them. Um, and even the guys at Halo, the Halo guys have got them, because they wanted it.
Mhm.
And that's quite nice, But I never do a design thinking, oh, this is going to be my next big one, or this one's going to be the one that's going to excel at Needler, because I'm not really precious about like numbers or whether something sells or doesn't sell,
yeah
like because it's not part of who I am, And I think that's partly the reason why you very rarely see me actually selling my work. And I get wrong from people all the time. It's like, but you could make a lot of money out of this. And I go, and like,
yeah
what am I going to do with the money anyway? It's like, it's a pointless exercise. I'd rather have something that so many people want but can't have, And one of the
yeah
reasons why I overcomplicate them, so you'll see there's a lot of details on some of them, is it's just to stop people from producing it. Because
It's
that's
amazing to me. I've watched you do the fan art thing over the last couple of years before you started, be doing all the contractual stuff, and it was amazing how much fan art you could crank out in a day. Just
I think
boom,
I
boom,
can
boom.
average about 50 fan arts a week I can do.
Uh,
If
it's
I
just
if,
amazing,
and I mean that's a lot of, so the process is, and I've shared sometimes I share some intros of what I'm doing, so yeah, I have it's almost like an outline, but it's not. It's, when you're using 3D, so this is like the gear pass control. So this faceplate here is
right?
obviously, this whole thing, I've got it as a 3D model in sort of 3D software. So you can't just simply put a texture on that face because of all the curves. Certain things will start distorting and it'll just kind of not work, So you have to do a process where you're unwrapping the model to its sort of, as if like I took that and I squished it so it's flat
Yeah,
again, It's a
right.
similar sort of
UV
thing.
map.
Exactly. So it's a UV map. And then you take that UV map and then I build on top of it in Photoshop. So I'm actually building the texture, So you'll see, I can see then where the buttons are, where the D-pad is, where all the bits that I know when I drop a graphic on, I haven't got a font kind of like hitting the button, or I haven't got a line that's going to disjoint somewhere, Then that gets rewrapped onto the model, and then I have to then retexturize everything. So I'll color map the buttons, the triggers, based on the artwork, and then you have to render everything out, which can take about 20 minutes at most. Then you put it back into Photoshop, clean it all up, make it look pretty and nice, add little logos and stuff, and then you share it out, and it's that simple,
Yeah.
But it's probably that simple because I'm to me. But I mean, anybody else, it's probably like I reckon I could do a controller blindfolded. I reckon. Just because I know where everything is.
Careful now, somebody's gonna throw you that challenge.
I know. I think.
You and say, now you got to do one blindfolded.
Yeah, actually, that would not be a bad idea. Just do a challenge or something.
Well, lots of people want us to stream how I do the work, and it's not like I'm not wanting to do it to hide how I do it. There is no secrets to what I do.
No.
But the only reason why I don't is because who wants to see this ugly mug?
Well, I think Xbox Pope. It's like Pope. Sorry.
Even it was funny because Aaron Greenberg was on that charity stream the other day, and obviously I'm just Pope in the Twitch streams and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, I could see Xbox Pope there."
Yeah, I was in that stream with you.
Who's Xbox Pope?
that was your old name, right? That's where you came from.
Changed all that for legal reasons.
You don't even need a camera in that perspective. People just want to see how you create the stuff in the 3D program in Photoshop, see how you work in just your workflow overall.
Yeah, I could probably do that.
Like just capture your screen and just go through the process, and then people can learn from that, because there is a lot to learn from how you do your stuff. If you can crank out 50 a week, then people can really like take something from that and learn. I mean, people want to learn.
Yep.
It almost surprises us.
Sorry. Let me say real quick. There are people out there who think they can do what you do. We've seen those messages, anybody can do that. Go ahead.
And I always challenge them, I always say, because sometimes some of them, they just, you just can't talk to them, you really just cannot. So, I mean, they just get removed, because I just haven't got the time in the day for that sort of carry on. But the ones who are willing to talk, and I'll just go, well, I'll tell you what, will you do it? Well, I can't do that. Then why comment on something if you know you can't do it? It's funny because obviously Needler got a lot of attention because obviously people were saying it was a sticker, blah blah blah. It's kind of a sticker, but it's not, because it's heat wrapped on,
Right.
And it's the only reason why people are slightly uncomfortable with that format is because it's fairly. It's kind of a fairly new thing to do, So I had a lot of grief from other controller manufacturers who maybe just spray on, and it was like, well, that's not the right way to do it. And I says, well, how's it not the right way to do it when I need to make 3,000 of them? Can you spray me 3,000? Well, no. Then stop complaining, I'll tell you what, I says, I'll give you the artwork, you wrap it on in the same way, Treason are doing it. And a few of them took the challenge and they tried to do it, and they went, do you know what it is? We cannot do it. Like, we just cannot, we don't know how they're doing it, even though it's good, but it's not perfect. And I went, yeah, but it's so difficult. We cannot do that, So that just goes to show, and if you think, I only revealed that Treason was run by like a female not so long ago, and I thought I didn't want to sort of tell everyone at the time because it was one of those, there was a few trolls knocking around, and I was just trying to protect her, because she was obviously getting death threats and stuff over some of the qualities, and I thought even Xbox get it wrong, and they're like a multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar company, and some of their sort of controllers aren't perfect, you know. So you know, let's just drop the heat a little bit here, you know, and she's trying to fix things best she can.
Oh, there is something from it now, and PayPal.
Oh. Someone sort of bombing the stream.
It wasn't me this time. It wasn't my side this time.
But yeah, I think we'll learn so much from Needler. I mean, Needler was kind of rushed out because it was getting this such high demand of likes, and it was like people were like asking, "Can we buy? Can we buy? Can we buy?" And it was like, well, yeah, let's try, you know. And yeah, it was difficult. It was really difficult, and at one point, it nearly sort of forced me to quit Twitter in a sense, because I just got sick of the people complaining, and I just thought, listen, I don't make these things. I design them, but I don't make them. And these guys are based in Florida. I kind of like fly out at the minute to Florida and start like checking the quality of how they're doing things. The only time I see them is when people are showing them on social media, you know. So yeah, it's definitely a hard business. And I mean, I think I get a lot of comments, well, it's $150. And it's like, I'll tell you the reason why it's $150, right? Because it's straight away, it's between $55, $60 just for the controller. Because obviously I have to buy them from Microsoft. And it'll be a standard black or it'll be a standard white. It just depends on, you know, which way sometimes I configure the buttons. Now, a lot of places, like for instance, you know, this one. So a lot of sort of companies they'll not change the buttons. They'll keep the standard A, B, X, Y. They'll keep the standard thumbs, all the triggers, everything. All they'll do is this faceplate, and that's it. And they'll still charge you over $200 just for that. But whilst with Needler, what we try to do is we give coloured backs, we give coloured individual coloured grips, we give coloured thumbs, we give coloured D-pads, coloured buttons. Like the whole thing was custom, and it's not like I can go to Game Design Lab and say, "Oh, can I buy some of your coloured buttons?" You know, because I've tried it, believe me, and they will not sell. Like unless you just want one controller, you know. So straight away you've got to try and find another third party. And generally most parts, controller parts, and it's no big secret, but it's all from China, you know. Like everything that you get done nowadays is from China. So that comes at a cost because you've got to import and, you know, export and import. So that adds to the cost. You've got to, you know, pay for the shipping. And then you've got to work out how many quantities you need, because they might only sell packs of 50, but you only need 10. So now you've got a stock of buttons that you're never ever going to use, but you've had to kind of pay over the odds. And then you've got to pay people a salary to stick this on. So you've got to actually give people a wage. You know, then you need a warehouse. You need, you know, all the things that come with a warehouse, heating bills, electric bills to pay for. You know, it's all these tiny little things, like, you know, all the transport costs, everything. It all adds on top of the final bill, you know. So even us doing them at $150, we don't really make a huge lot of money, because we even
and you're not even
lower the cost so much.
Even though you can crank them out quickly because of the way you work, it's still your art, your mind, your time to put that all together, and your experience.
Yeah, and sometimes even that comes at a cost where I don't even charge for that time, you know. So I don't make any money whatsoever. I just do it sometimes just for the pure pleasure of people actually saying, "Oh, I've got a probe controller. Oh, look at this, look at it." You know, they get dead excited on social media. They've actually got something physical in their hands, but you know, they don't realize I didn't make any money from it. You know, because I'm trying to keep the cost so low that I'm giving them the chance to actually own something that, yeah, one day I woke up and I created this controller. You know, it's like, that's how random it is. And then obviously, because I work for the guys at NZXT as well, I'm designing all their custom cases. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to add, to the conversation. I think it's important for a lot of people to understand is that, Pope, you're a one-man production studio basically, and you're not, you yourself are not a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and you don't have the power to negotiate in large quantities like a Walmart or a Target to get the prices down. You don't have that power. You're one man with the dream, making controllers for people, trying to make them smile. And I mean, from your perspective, it's definitely a lot of out-of-pocket costs. And I don't think people realize that. People just assume, oh, well, if you make controllers, you can buy so many in bulk. Well, no, you can't, because if you buy so many in bulk, it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Well, I bought, so when I did, which job was it? I don't know. It might have been, I had to buy 600 controllers anyway. And that was $28,000. Wow. You know, could you imagine just like having to pay $28,000 out your pocket up front just to get the hardware? That's it. You know, that's not even the custom work yet. And then obviously you've got I've got to spend time, because there's two types of art when it comes to controllers. There's fan art, which there's no rules. You know, you splatter it on, and yeah, it's great. But then when I do work for the likes of Doom and the Bethesda guys and stuff, like that needs finished artwork, which that isn't a quick process because you've got to use vector lines. You've got to make sure the graphics are like super high res. You've got to make sure the textures at the other end are high quality printed. So all that process adds a huge amount of time to the job, you know. So yeah, there's a lot of costs that people don't actually see. You know,
I think part of it is they think that because you're doing stuff for Microsoft or for Bethesda, that you're going into the situation with the weight of them behind you to get all this stuff together. And
no, they don't get it. Yeah. Well, do you know when I did Game Pass? So I'm working directly for Microsoft, right?
Right.
I had to buy the controllers. I had to buy everything. Like I didn't get them for free. Like it's funny because a lot of, like, I've worked with a lot of brands over the years, and even like when I've done these sort of fake stores. So I build stores, or I used to, and we used to have to merchandise them, you know. But for example, when I did the Duracell job, I actually built it where they make the batteries, like the factory in Belgium, and I just assumed because the batteries were there, they just fill it in, they just stock it and stuff. No, we had to go to the shops and buy our own batteries to then put them in the store. You know, like people don't realize you can't just, you know, because you're doing a job for Microsoft, like they just start giving you, you know, 1,000 controllers off the back of the job. You know, no, you've got to buy them, like, and then you've got to find out where to buy them from. You know, because there's not a shop down the road that has 1,000 controllers on the shelf. No. You know, you think, how the hell do I get 1,000 controllers? You know. So yeah, it's definitely a minefield.
Yeah.
When I first started this, I thought, this is dead easy. This, like, you just get them made, don't you? No, it's
It's a lot more complicated.
honestly, it's super complicated. And then I think when the job's out, you're always cautious. You're always like hesitant whether the client's going to like it, whether the community are going to like them, like physically in the hands, because I've always strived to get as good quality as an Xbox controller, you know. But their process is a multi-million-dollar machine. This thing impregnates, the artwork into the controller. It's a process I could never afford with the numbers that I do to even go there. This thing prints I don't know 200,000 controllers, and he has me who just needs 10 or 50. like, it's never going to happen. But going forward, there is some good hope moving forward. There's some possible links to Scuff. There's some possible links to POPeART, who already manufacture controllers anyway. So yeah, who knows? You could be receiving Pope design controllers that are a bit more authentic, as in manufacturing just like Xbox. Just because they've also reached out, like, loving the stuff that I do, and they just want to be part of that journey as well. And these are meetings I'm having behind the scenes, just so I can keep, say to the community, look, I am listening. I am trying to interact with all these professional controller manufacturers. It's just so difficult as a one-man band, to get that, to get them sort of boxes ticked, and then obviously you've got the problem of IPs. You need to start working with brands where you can actually be part of that IP. I kind of just randomly start doing Doom controllers, unless I get permission to do that, or and so on. So then that's another minefield that you've got to kind of go through. So yeah.
That's the difference between the fan art that anybody can do, and then if you actually want to probably produce something, you have to go through that whole other process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And licensing an IP is a whole different ball game.
Honestly, it's. I mean, I've got a big announcement coming out, hopefully this month, and then when that gets revealed, a lot of people are gonna like say, like, holy shit, Pope, that's pretty mega huge. I mean, it is. When I had the first meeting, and then I was like, really? Because I thought the guy was joking at first, and I was like, really? And then I had another meeting, in there was these other three guys in the video chat thing, and I was just like, all right, okay, yeah. And this kid who I first spoke to, he was like, yeah, it's not often you get the CEOs of this massive global brand in the same room together. And I was like, what? Like, they're the CEOs? And it was like, yeah. And they're like, oh my God, Pope, we'll absolutely adore your work. We'll love your branding. We'll love you as a person. Like this is a dream partnership. So when that one gets announced, I'm super happy, because I think I can kind of relax a little bit, knowing I'm kind of going on this bigger journey.
Very cool.
But I'll always still be me, you know. I'll always be just normal, you know, me who is Pope. No
You
matter
who
how
likes to
big.
shoot you who likes to shoot me in the face in Halo. Yeah,
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
forget that. Yeah.
And I think that's what people who eventually do speak to us in person find out is that I'm not after, you know, huge amounts of glory or, you know, huge paychecks and stuff like that. In fact, part of the agreement with this company that I'm going to be sort of officially partnered with in a big way is I've actually said to them part of that money needs to go back into the community. So a lot of it's going to charities, a lot of it's getting put into helping a lot of people who need it basically. But people don't know that, you know. I don't need to sort of publicize that on
Right.
social media. That's just what I do as a person, you know. People don't realize whatever money sometimes I make, I actually give it away, you know. I give it away to certain places.
Right, and it doesn't have as much meaning if you're sitting there and look what I did, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really need to. Sometimes, you
Yeah.
know, it's nice to say, oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
help.
nice to be recognized. It's nice to be recognized, but at the same time, yeah.
Like, I mean, I've
Definitely.
donated controllers. There's another one actually
Yeah.
going to be revealed that I designed and then it got made, and it's in a hidden location at the minute, and that one's hopefully, you know, I paid for all that work to be done, but the you know, hopefully the controller gets auctioned off and it raises money to the charity, you know. So there's a lot of good things I do that people don't see, that I don't really, you know, I don't really tell. Like, I don't publicize on social media because really I don't need to, you know. As long as I know what I'm doing is good,
Yep.
then I don't really care what anybody else thinks, you know.
I I do think in the first place you shouldn't have to. People should just like they see what you do, and they should just believe in what you do. You know, even
I wish it was
if
that
you.
easy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I wish it was that easy as well.
And now social media, everyone thinks you're a
It's
huge Pinocchio, you
tricky
know, telling
horse.
lies all the time.
Yeah.
It's like what? Well, I don't believe you. Prove it. I was like, prove it. All
Yeah,
right, yeah, we're gone.
I don't owe you anything. I don't have to
But I
prove
think
anything.
I think a lot of the community does know what you do behind the scenes, and
Yeah,
people that watch this show will know more. I mean, as word spread around, they will know more how you
yeah.
actually are, and that you actually just are a genuine guy that wants to do stuff for the community, pay it forward, and
Like
that's
one
should
of
be
my
seen right from the roof.
one of my partnerships I got this year, which I'm pretty proud of, but I never really thought much about it at the time, was to be a Microsoft vendor, you know. And a funny story, I just sort of, because I normally speak to Seamus Blackley, you know, and I was telling him, I says, oh, I've become like a Microsoft vendor, you know, and he's like, shut up. And I was like, yeah. He's like, you do realize that's like the hardest thing in the planet to like actually achieve, you know? And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. Like they didn't give that shit to anybody, you know? Because I love Seamus, you know. I mean, me and him are great friends, you know, and he he likes to drop a couple of swear words in there, you know. He's classic.
Yeah, he's the father of the OG Xbox, as they call him.
Yeah, did you see the power on thing was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I really loved that. Going
Still
back
need to see it.
into the history of Xbox, you know. I always find that kind of stuff fascinating to watch, you know.
Yeah, especially the first 3 episodes were a lot of behind the scenes stuff that, you know, a lot of people don't know about. what it took to get to where they were.
Like you say, one day it might not have happened.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Pope, the POPeART brand. I mean, so where I've came in a year, we predicted I would be in 5 years. So I've actually done 5 years in 1 year.
Wow.
So the growth that I'm actually accelerating at is quite fast. So then obviously when these other partnerships get revealed and they're talking about an audience of 50 to 100 million people that I'm going to like the Pope brand's going to be in front of. It's God knows how much that is going to excel, who I am on social media. I may have to hire somebody to just do social media, I think.
Would you say it's because you work so hard that you are projecting yourself what you did in a year, in 5 years, or is it more like just
No, because they just cause one of the things I do is I never look for work, never. I would just wake up in the morning and then I already have like a list of jobs that I'll be busy on, but then I'll have like emails and DM requests from just developers, saying we love your work. Can you do a special controller for X, Y, and Z? It might be a game coming up. It might be they just want to give their staff a really cool gift for Christmas, or so. I mean, one of the things I've just done a special control. 200 actually special controllers for a game, and I think you might get to see it this. I don't know. Well, I don't think it'll be this week, but more so next week. And it's like it was a super cool project. I couldn't believe the guys reached out to us, and I was like, oh my god. I was like a little bit fanboying. And so, and then I had a few requests from some of the guys at Halo, and I've actually designed their kids their Christmas present.
Ooh, that's awesome. That's really cool.
Are we gonna see those?
Yeah,
in pictures,
obviously
maybe?
not from me, but I mean, obviously I've got pictures of them because they're actually made now, and
Yeah.
the guys, and I mean these aren't just normal people at Halo, they're the executives, and they'll share it. They said that they'll post it once their kids have opened them up at Christmas time.
That's awesome.
And they're super cool designs, I think because when I get commissioned, I can put more into it, because you're being commissioned, so obviously there's a fee to that, versus when I do fan art, which you just sort of don't know. I wouldn't say you don't care. You just know,
Is it more with fan art that you don't have guidelines and you can do whatever you want, and when you have a thing where they ask you to do something, you have a guideline that they say it has to be about this, maybe with this amount of detail or this inside it?
Exactly, yeah, and then obviously they'll request certain colors, maybe, and you go, but like there is no buttons that color in the world, like. I mean, listen, I can get buttons made to a certain color, but it's not something I like to do, because even that causes its own problems, having something specifically colorized. So I have it's a bit like going into design lab, how you see the colors that you pick. It's a little bit like that, but I have a little tiny bit more variety, because obviously I get my buttons from elsewhere. But even then, if you pick an orange, it's just an orange.
Yeah.
But if the graphic is I don't know, like a certain type of orange again, then you have to sort of balance the artwork, the graphic, with the actual buttons. So you might make certain tweaks, or you might make certain grads within the graphic to sort of try and make the two types of orange match, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's not easy trying to color match. And then one of the problems I had with Needler was obviously because I 3D render everything. So you have a digital medium. Do you know what I mean? So you post it and it's all, you know, it's whatever contrast your screen is, your monitor, your TV,
Yeah.
your phone, whatever. That's what color it is. But then when you physically get it, it's now in a digital medium, which isn't the same as, you know, digital. So then people would say, well, it's not the same color as the render, or it's not the same, it hasn't got the same color blue. And I think, well, they shit, Sherlock, you know, because one's digital and one's physical. You know, like the two aren't the same. And then obviously in my environment, it's like that because it's staring there. But if I move to a different room, it's a different color altogether. If I move downstairs, it's another color again.
On the lighting.
Exactly. So, but you know, trying to explain that to people, that I would end up being on social media all day long trying to explain to people that there's a difference between digital and physical, you know, and
Yeah.
there's
And
also
people don't understand, like the color green I see on my screen may be different than the color green you see on yours because of our lightings and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
even I got the. Sorry.
That's all right. And everybody's eyes see a different color anyway. Like you might see more blue than what I do.
Yeah.
You might see more green than what I do. So, you know, trying to, you know, I think sometimes people need to understand that nothing is ever going to be 100% the same. You know, it's just impossible to do. You could never do it.
You don't. Not only that, some people even don't like that particular color. So you're just. I mean, they.
Oh, I mean, I've had comments like that. They'll go, "Well, I would have made it red. What? Why did you make it green?" And I'm like,
I mean, I particularly like black and red together. It's a beautiful color combination. Like other people will say that doesn't fit right, or like I would say if I could make any controller following the Halo team, right, I would make a Ravager controller, or in that sense, and then someone else like, no, I want to see a sniper control, and then other people, so they're going in all different directions.
And that's generally what happens on my fan art. You know, like I'll put, make an energy sword one, and I was like, fuck hell. So I made an energy sword. Make a such and such one. And like, for fuck's sake.
It keeps going. They keep going.
Make another clowns one. I haven't seen a clowns one in a long time.
I must admit, I haven't done like streamer ones for a while, or like content creator ones. I used to.
You haven't done any of my requests yet. I'm beginning to take it personal. I think it's.
Oh, have I not?
No. I'm sorry.
Honestly, I get that many, right?
I know.
I was like, Flamish.
I'm just giving you credit, dude. I enjoy your artwork. I really do.
Honestly, sometimes I get like I can get easily.
You did an Indiana Jones one that I would kill to have in real life.
Did I do one of them? Honestly, I get so many requests, and sometimes I have lists upon lists of like just fan art that I just
there was
sort
also
of
a Dark Knight one that you did at one point that I was also drooling over.
I think one of the coolest ones that you've ever done was when, and may rest in peace, but when you and Xbox Addict worked together, and you did the Sea of Thieves, and you make a custom wooden case, and it looked, I mean, it was just a phenomenal, the whole project.
That Xbox Addict controller over here. Still got his little little pin and his little badge, and
Oh,
it's probably
that's so
showing
cool.
up on my screen.
That's awesome.
Well,
awesome. You
the
will love
story
that.
between the story how the controller thing kind of was getting made was, so before obviously Xbox Addict Matt had passed away, there was me and him had talked about, wouldn't it be cool if we just did like a handful of controllers to give to developers, and say like well done on games and stuff like that. And then me and him would get one in return. That was always part of the deal. And so the first game we picked was Sea of Thieves, and I sent one to Craig Duncan and I sent one to Aaron Greenberg. But I said to Matt, like, wouldn't it be cool, like, rather than just give them a controller, if I made a box? So I built these boxes in my garage. I kind of sprayed them and glued them and carved them, and I made them into these books. So as you opened the book, the controller was inside, So I made all them and shipped them down. And then, and I mean, it got great reaction. And then the best part was, and I'm glad Matt was still around to see that, is he went to E3 and Sea of Thieves was there at the time, and they went, look, come and have a look at this. And what it is that they put me in an Xbox Addict in the game as like Easter eggs. And it's like it even had the little black book that I had kind of done, and then it had me and him, and it was like, and he must have recorded something, because he sent me a private message like, mate, check this out, check. You know how hype I used to get. He was like, honestly, he was like double hyper all the time, and it's like, we're in the fucking game, he's gone mental. So yeah, and then we thought, right, what's going to be our next game that we're going to do? What's the next one? The next one. So POPeART and obviously the things that I do, it's actually still me and Xbox Addict, really. I kind of carry him, so I keep him in my heart when I do a lot of the things. Again, that's just another personal story, But yeah, I kind of miss him. Just because he always had that enthusiasm, he had that amazing excitement, but then at the same time he wasn't shy of telling you whether something was shit, and so you would like do something, it's fucking shit. Listen, what you want to do is you want to try this, he was always like correcting you on things, so because a lot of the stuff that I do, obviously I'm not super knowledgeable about every game, is it's cool for normal gamers, but then the hardest critiques are the hardcore fans, and I might use the wrong icon, the wrong symbol, I might use the wrong colorways, and those fuckers will tell you about it, like like they'll tell you like whether you've done something wrong, and you just go, well, it's just fan art, man. I don't care. You've used the wrong logo. That's part of such and such in episode such and such. You think, fucking hell.
Well, they don't want to accept that you have a different take on their style that is their baby, basically. And if just the minute details are enough to set them up, like, no, it needs to be that way.
It's so I'm always conscious when I post stuff that, like, fair enough, Joe Blogs is going to be all right, but it's them, and it's those hardcore followers, them, the people who are like, all they do is believe in this game all day long. It's those that I'm conscious. Yeah, I'm gonna get a backlash in here.
Well, I know that we're kind of going into an hour, and it's late for Flamish. I know it's No, you're good. You're
No,
good.
it's 8 p.m. What do you say? We can go for
December.
multiple
No,
hours.
no, we cannot go for multiple hours. You have school in the morning, boy. So
His work, his training.
I mean, if there's any quick questions you want to throw in there, just quickly answer them, and then if you need to wrap up, I mean, I'm fine.
I have one question. Like, are you making more controllers and putting them on the site for people to buy?
Yes, but I'm just on hold at the minute because I just want to make sure things are sort of like ironed out. I want to make sure they're 100% where we're not going to sort of get upset people and things there, because that's obviously never anybody's initial intentions. It's just unfortunately shit happens. So yeah, I will be putting some more on there. I don't know what. I haven't got a clue. But 9 times out of 10, it's based off. So I kind of use my Instagram as a bit of a data capture. So if something's really sort of excelling and getting a lot of likes, then I'll say, right, I'm going to make 100 of these, or I'm going to make 200 of these, and then that's it. It's just.
Got an idea.
What do you want?
I got an idea. Maybe something like gold, shiny, with some rings. Not like Sonic, but maybe in the style of.
There's a. I mean, I get a lot of people wanting like PlayStation controllers, but I tend to keep away from them, only because Sony obviously get a bit. They get a bit sensitive,
no.
Well, I think they got a lot of issues with that faceplates that they're selling, and then D-Brand is around the corner, like selling the same faceplates, and they're literally daring Sony to sue them because they have a different style and a different marking on the inside.
But you know what Sony's done though, don't you? How they've got around all. So you could design a totally different faceplate. But guess where they hold the patent on for and where they can sue you is there's only one possible way of connecting the hook mechanism on. And that's the part that they get every single body who's attempting to make plates.
The part you snapped off on yours. Yeah.
So that part there is you have to create that because the male and female have to be whatever it is.
Yeah, it needs to be the pointy.
So that's how they're able to sue everybody, because there is no getting around not copying that part.
Wow, that's interesting.
But you didn't know that, did you?
I didn't know that. I knew there was a trademark, but I didn't know specifically what the trademark was.
It is.
That one little design piece that they can't work around.
It's basically that part. So D-Brand
the mechanism,
can do all they want, but if they have to copy that part of the plate to be able for people to fit them on, so therefore you've infringed copyright.
It looks exactly the same. I can say that. I checked it.
Exactly. So you see, so therefore Sony will win. To be fair, I mean, I'm on Sony's radar because I already know, but I don't do anything. It's the same with Microsoft, really. Everyone at Microsoft or Xbox knows exactly who I am, but I don't go around selling controllers for huge amounts of profit or to in such a big way that it would upset them anyway. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's not the intention. It's not about making money with POPeART controllers. It's about having something that was once a picture, it's now real, and 1 or 10 or 50 people out of 60 billion people in the world have got them. Like, how cool is that?
Every time something comes up that's your art, that's like, win this Pope controller, win this Pope console. I'm like, I'm all over that.
Like them Elder Scrolls, I mean, there's a few people getting them, right? But there's only like, I don't know, there's only 40 of them in the world. Like Doom controllers. There's only like, this is proper stuff that I'm doing with Bethesda. It's like, it's, I don't know, I can't remember. There might be like 45 of them in the world. It's
Yeah.
and you think of it like that.
And when you take that, some of those are even held back by the company for company heads or whoever too. So
I've got two. In fact, I've got two, and it was that werewolf game. I can't remember. Something werewolf. I've only got the faceplate. I can't really.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah,
So that game there is. So there's 2 actual PlayStations customized in the world, and they sit in the director's office, like never to be seen by anybody. They just sit there, whatever. And then obviously Outriders. I could have got them all. I could have got them all, but I didn't want all 6, So I just said send us a green one.
6.
Yeah, design.
I don't remember anymore.
Well, there was
so many controls.
There was the 4.
So now I have to ask, how many controllers do you actually have that are actually
from your own designs?
Oh, just in here.
Just in here.
I've got the Cyberpunk one up there. That's frame. I've got the Xbox Live controller that's signed by all the guys on the.
That's
and
cool.
then I've got my one I did with Xbox Addict at the back. So I've got a few.
I still love that claptrap.
Oh yeah, I've got it on my wall there. Well,
really?
I can just see it. Just sort
of. Oh, I thought it was a picture.
But it's actually the controller. But I've mounted it. I've mounted
it. Wow, that's awesome.
I've mounted it.
That is really cool.
Yeah, there's only two controls made or something, right?
Yeah. So that's the second one. Oh well, technically that's the first one because it's the same with Needler. I've got Needler there. This Needler.
You got the first one.
It's different to that. So you see the different color.
Yeah.
Oh, I just fucking trying to rotate it with the camera.
Yeah, that one's blue and that one's purple.
Yeah,
more bluish.
Because this one's just the first prototype, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So normally I get prototypes shipped out to us just to sort of say, this is what we're roughly doing. I've got Butterfingers launching. Done there a controller. I'm actually doing them.
I wanted that Butterfinger stuff. I really wanted that.
I'm actually doing them guys another controller, which is super top secret, and it's going to be super fun because let's say it's more than just a graphic.
An edible Butterfinger controller by Pope.
So that one's quite cool, and I've got the one that possibly you'll find out next week.
Ooh.
That's awesome.
It's because did you know I'm actually an EA vendor now as well. So
awesome.
I get to work with the EA games on all their stuff now.
Battlefield Control coming out? No, that's Activision. No.
Flamish, it's EA.
Yeah, EA. Yeah.
DICE. Yeah, DICE.
Yeah, sorry guys. My bad.
And actually, I mean, one of the things I do is because a lot of people say, oh, you should work for Microsoft, you should work for Xbox, or you should. Well, technically, I do design controllers for Xbox, but it's just not on that game side. It's more the movies and music side of controllers. So that's why you've seen the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one I did. for
Yeah.
Nickelodeon. I did the SpongeBob one. I did a few other ones that are still yet to be revealed.
Man,
I think I've got about 20 designs I've done for Xbox that nobody's even seen yet.
I hope
Wow.
there's a Hellblade 2 one though. That's gonna be very popular.
Flamish is trying to
Flamish is
predict the
fish for
future.
information.
Fable,
Yeah.
Fable
Yeah.
controller
Yeah.
coming
Uh,
out.
You want to get some
Flamish.
Starfield while you're out there. You want to talk Starfield.
Oh, Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6.
We
One of
already
the
know he's working. We already know he's working with Bethesda, so we know there's a hopefully there's a Starfield one in the future.
Maybe
Well-
Doom.
Things he can't say. Flamish.
No, I'm just joking. I'm just.
I mean, you will. No, there is more Bethesda stuff coming. What it is, you'll have to find out. I've already designed the stuff. It's already done. It's just by the time it goes through legal and then
Right.
blah blah blah.
Take some time. Yeah.
But some controllers are a fast turnaround. Some they just take a little bit longer to go through all the red tape. What else have I got going on? And then obviously but one of the funny stories about the Halo controller, the ones that you've seen, I had a bit of interesting feedback where apparently I inspired the team to do that controller just by all the fan arts I've done for Halo. It was like, and I think one of the comments was, you really pushed with Pope to achieve the Halo controller because it was doing different techniques and processes that we're not really that comfortable in doing, if you know what I mean. Just because I inspired them so much that they wanted to try and sort of not mimic or copy or anything. It was just to keep it in that sort of format of if Pope did it, what would it look like, So that was a quite honor. I seen that as a nice honor. So yeah, I'm glad that I inspire people. It always surprises sometimes on social media is the fact that I do get comments from people saying how I've inspired them to get into art or get into design or like even to learn how to work harder,
You've reached a very special class. There's a story of I don't remember which musician it was that on this song we want somebody who can do what Jerry Reed can do on the guitar. Jerry Reed had a very specific style. And the guy looks at him and goes, why don't we just hire Jerry Reed? If you want this sound, let's hire the guy who can do it. Don't try to duplicate it or make it better. Just get the guy who can do it. Which you're in that same special class now.
Because it's funny because obviously I have a style and people notice it. I mean, even when sometimes Xbox posts stuff, they'll go, Pope, did you do that? Because they can just tell.
Yeah.
It's just got something of Pope in there, so it's nice that people notice that there is a style in there, but at the same time I can switch into so many different directions. It would blow your mind. I can just go down different avenues all the time. That's if I was ever in competition with anyone. But I never really treat my job as a competition. I just have fun with it, simple as, and it's just nice at the other end when people are appreciative of it, as in the sense that I've made their bad day better, or I've put a smile on their face, and like that's the best reward that I get out of what I do. And normally I just go away and I'll tell my wife, I'll kind of go, oh yeah, hey, check this out. This kid was having a proper shit day, and I've like proper made that day. Like feel a little bit special. Like how awesome is that? I don't think there's many people in the world who who've got that ability to be able to do something like that. Because even when people post art, like pictures, someone might do a Marvel, I don't know, a Marvel sort of character as a picture, and post it. It hasn't really, it doesn't, it hasn't really affected anybody's life, apart from it's just another character that someone's drawn.
Yeah.
Versus when I do a fan art controller, it's actually made a difference to somebody,
Yeah, this is something that was requested and that you took the time to do, and this is for that person.
Yeah.
That makes it special.
Yeah, it's like just that picture that you showed me, right, from my show that you made for me, as a thing, like so many requests you did for other people, right? It's just something special, and just give something that most people can give someone. Like it's just something special,
Yeah.
And when you see people even getting those controls at home and they film themselves like having it in there, it's like, yeah, go on.
And
It's like,
I mean,
it's a really good feeling. You should be proud.
And it is. It's a great feeling, and it's only gonna go. It's only gonna get bigger. It's only gonna get more demanding. Because just because I know the direction Pope's heading. But like I always say it, like I said to the guys at NZXT, like I said to the guys at Microsoft, blah blah blah. When I'm signing contracts with these people, one of the things I always say to them is, one, I have to be able to give part of the funds to charity. Two, I still have to do fan art, because it's not fan art as you might imagine it to be. It actually makes a difference to people,
Yeah.
and that's why I can't give it up. It's there's so many times I thought, oh, I'm just going to retire. Yeah, I'm sick of. I'm depressed today. I'm not doing any fan arts. And as quick as I see it, as quick as I'll just do 2 fan arts, because I was pissed off. Like I was pissed off with myself for even thinking like that. So how I get round me being stressed or upset is I'll do a fan art. Like the other day, I had my wife in hospital, and obviously she was having a bit of an op, and then as soon as I got home, I did fan art. But I had posted like previously that my wife's in hospital. But that's just how I deal with certain things. Is I'll do a fan art just to sort of it's almost like detoxes my mind. Do you know what I mean? Because it helps to stop thinking about other things. I can just sort of just put some tunes on, think of a subject, create something, and then post it. Then I'll go back to my normal life again. It's like
Quick way to decompress. I wish I had one of those.
yeah, it's but yeah, the fan arts.
Yeah.
I think I had a
So,
guy said it was.
On that note, have you ever had a company ask you to not do side jobs, as in regard like lock you down?
Obviously, I have to, I have to be careful what things
Right.
I might take on.
Right.
Like for example, because I work with NZXT, I can't work for Razer, or I can't work for Corsair or and stuff. Which, hey, like when I agreed to them terms, I was like, that's fine with me, I mean,
No, I meant more. Has anybody ever actually specifically mentioned, can you not do fan art while you're doing stuff for us, or where you've had to go? No, that's not part of the deal. Yeah.
No, it's fine. The no. Listen, I mean, these guys, they do that background research on me. What you got to remember is one of the reasons I have to be careful what I say on social media. Be careful what I post.
Right.
Not only does it affect obviously the partnerships that I've got, in some of the dealings.
Partnerships you might get.
But yeah, it also affects what I might get.
Yeah.
But
Right.
what you got to remember is I'm constantly being watched.
Yeah.
Like everything I say, do, post, everything.
Yeah.
I'm constantly being watched. So
You're like a celebrity.
it's and it'll be surprising, you know. I'll joke around because that's the type of person I am, as I joke around on social media. But if it feels as if it's went the wrong way and someone's starting to bite from it and try to troll from it, I instantly get messages from certain, let's say, certain people, and it's like, ignore it, don't reply, don't respond, walk away. So I
that's the smart
know,
thing.
like I know I'm constantly being watched because, well, one, because I know, because I've been told, but I can tell anyway. You know, you can just tell because certain things will happen, and like, how the fuck did you know about that? And it's like, it's because, yeah, and I think that's the other side of growing as a person, growing as a brand, growing as a business is. Remember, I was just this dude who I am now, with this character called Xbox Pope, just, you know, dicking about, creating fan arts and trying to make people happy, to where it's now becoming where you're possibly going to see Pope controllers in every store in the world soon. You're going to see them on Amazon soon. You're going to see them in Walmart soon. You're going to see them. They're going to be everywhere, and all you're going to see is that face, that Pope face. All you're going to see is that name. So yeah, it's
well. Pope, I wanted to ask you, as of right now, if people wanted to, let's say, buy one of your design controllers, right? Are they still up for sale on Trezor?
Yeah. I mean, or basically what I do is I have a handful of controller makers, and whoever's making them, I just say, well, put them in your store. You know, I think you can still get needler ones and stuff like that. A lot of them, I'll just put them on, and then if demand's there, I'll keep them there, and then other ones I'll just say, right, just shut it down, just close it up, because like it's not about, like, I could easily put a tweet out and say, oh, buy more controllers, please buy more controllers, but it's not about trying to sell them. It's just about, they're there on the Pope store. Some you probably won't have links to, other ones you probably will. It's funny saying that Marvel Series X, the Guardians of the Galaxy one. I don't know if you've seen it on social media.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I did the original concepts to that for Xbox, and then obviously they've kind of made something out of it. Generally, that's another thing that happens is I have hundreds of designs that nobody sees that just get deleted. I'm working with a developer at the minute, and I sent off something like 8 concepts, and so 8 different designs, right? And honestly, they were so blown away by it. They couldn't decide out of the 8 because they just loved all of them. And but then they picked one. So them 7 designs that are like, if I posted them on here now, they would blow people's minds, because obviously that's commission work, so like the details even more enhanced. But do you know what it is? They'll just go straight in the trash. Like, they'll never be seen by anybody.
I I am thinking, is there another way to save them and then at a later time when the deal is over and everything is shown that you can still show them to people?
Well, I could, but by that time I've grew bored of it, and I just think, well, I've done something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think it would be cool for people to see like how you work, like different concepts, and then like you have an art book, right? Where you have like different concepts of the same person and then different hairstyles. Like how you do yours?
I could
Just an
probably.
idea, of course.
Yeah. I mean, once it gets revealed, possibly after next week, I'll be able to talk a little bit more about it. You know, I just don't want to see it too much at the minute in case. Generally, when I sign NDAs, you know, I'm hopeless. I can give a shit. Just going, well, if I tell someone by accident, well, oh shit, sorry, accidentally. But no, I don't sort of splur things everywhere, you know. But yeah, I guess I could probably take concepts and
Yeah, I
actually
mean,
say,
at some point, just make a book with different concepts from the same thing and how you came to light. Like, you see those collector's editions, you see the art books that they come with. Like, that's also a cool thing. People love that. People love
yeah, I
stuff like that.
suppose I could. It again, you know, I would need someone to manage Pope, you know, like to because I'm doing stuff so sporadic and so much of it. To get all that locked in and put into a book and then published and blah blah blah, it's like another job in itself, you know. I'll just be like, yeah, it is. It's like another job in itself.
Well, I gotta say, I'm looking at the Trezzen store of the Pope art collection, and a lot of your stuff is sold out. The Needler's, the Needler's still available, and some of the ones that I was really looking at, I didn't even know you did a Ricky Berwick controller or a When Pigs Fly controller.
Yeah. So do you know this?
Really?
Like, there is a. So do you know when Gregory there was asking for a Halo 1 black and red?
Yeah, Ravager. It's a good gun.
Yes. So that's in the Treason store, obviously sold out. So you know that would be a perfect match for you. To be fair, you know, when they say sold out, all I have to do is reactivate numbers again, you know. But the story between Ricky, so Ricky, you know, he's obviously a disabled guy, but he's great, you know, at just sort of getting fun, entertaining, wacky, kind of crazy posts out there, you know. And he obviously has this thing that he does with his tongue. So how the controller came about was he has his tongue's wrapping around all the buttons. It's like getting everywhere, you know. It's like this pain in the ass thing that you just think, fucking hell, man, Ricky, your freaking tongue's everywhere, you know. So when I did that for him, that is his ultimate dream was to have his own controller. So you can imagine the guy, his ultimate dream is just to have his own controller, you know. And I kind of made that happen for him. So there's not many people who can do that. Then you've got the pigs, When Pigs Fly. So the story behind that is obviously there was this couple, and they lost their little baby daughter. She died of natural causes, and so I designed, and obviously the last thing she had in her hand was a little pig, and I think what's she called? Megan, Millie. It was something begin with an M anyway. So that's why it's the little pig controller. Millie, I think Millie the pig or something, and so that money that were made off them controllers that went to kids who were who I can't remember what the charity's called. Sorry, but the money went all the money went to some charity for like is it young kids who die young or something. My head's scrambled at the minute. So
Yeah, it's not on
so
the control.
so I mean, you know, there's things like that. To be fair, there's not that many in that store versus what I've actually made in real life. You know.
Actually, it says on the control Maggie 2016.
Maggie, that's what it was. I knew it was an M. And
Yeah.
the story behind I Am 8 is because obviously my reading and writing disability is average as an 8-year-old, because obviously I had been tested, and so that's why I did it. That's why I says POPeART I age 8, and then I was just like as if I had a crayon and I just kind of like, you know, like how kids draw, you know, they just draw scribbles on their stuff, and then I was trying to like the A B X Y. I was trying to think, well, you know, A for apple, and then a typical kid would say like B for butt, you know. So yeah, I mean, I think I always try to have fun with Pope. You know, he's a fun character.
So, for everybody listening, I do want to let you know that you can still get the Needler-looking controller on the Tresn store, and there's still a couple other designs available. It looks amazing. We've seen Pope hold up the controller on stream today, so you know if you're looking for a special gift that is not common for Xbox gamer or a PC gamer that they could use Xbox controller, highly recommend that design. In fact, it is on sale right now as well. And if you sign up for the email thing, you get an additional $10 off, I believe. So that is just a fantastic deal all the way around. It's a fantastic looking controller, Pope, by the way. It kind of screams out to me. You know, I think it's the science behind the colors on that one that you mastered that.
Well, I'm gonna post something soon that people might like. But then I also did recently. I've just done some anniversary cyberpunk ones for because it was the guys' first birthday, and that like a lot of the cyberpunk sort of developers follow me anyway. So like they're nice, really cool people behind the scenes. And it's a little bit unfair. They got a lot of stick about the game, but you know it is what it is. And I was choking on. I says, shall I make some, you know, and put some in the store? And they were like, yeah, hell yeah, you know, we want some. And I was like, oh no, but like I don't want to like piss off the IP and stuff like that. He's like, nah, fuck that shit, man. Like we're not lost. He says, you know, we're cool at CD Projekt Red. Just fucking make them. I was like, all right, cool. So I might put some cyberpunk ones in there. I don't know.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, that's awesome. Just whatever you do, Pope, if you ever make a dragon design controller, add that pink pillow with it that Flamish has. It will sell tremendously. That pink pillow is Flamish's trademark. Yeah, that's his new trademark for every podcast he's on.
Don't forget the clip, though. There's a little clip on it. It's my new thing for my neck. I love it. Thanks, Mama.
I was gonna say that's one of those that you sit on a plane with, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's for my neck. A little bit of support for the operation I had. So.
Oh, did you have a little operation?
Yeah, I had like a little back plate that they put in the front of my spine of my neck with a like they took some bone marrow out, or I don't know, the things between the disc like the discs.
Mhm.
They took it out and put an artificial in
The
to try to
cartilage.
straighten my
Oh, cartilage,
image.
yeah.
Yeah, that thing.
Tell you, man, we're all falling to bits.
Yeah,
Getting old. Oh,
I mean, yeah, I was shocked at the age of 30 that this was already happening, but oh well, okay.
yeah, man, I had a major lung operation when I was 18 because my lung collapsed. So I've got
Ooh.
I've got
Ooh.
down my back. I've got a massive, huge scar where they kind of cut my back open
Oh,
to
wow.
operate on my lung. And try and I actually physically glued my lung back up and then filled it with air. It's cool.
Jesus, you're lucky.
Yeah, I'm not scared of dying. I just mess with life.
You're doing a good job.
Flamish. Because I
Doing
know
a
her.
good job of
Do
messing
a
with
good
life.
job.
I try to be as positive as possible, you know? I'm the positive gamer. It's a like game.
Well, it's
Oh,
almost
God,
it's almost brunch time for me here in Florida, where the sun is still shining, and it's 90 degrees outside.
fucking lucky.
No
Ah,
rain, no
Yeah.
rain
Lovely,
right
though.
now.
It's so cold. So cold. But I'm sitting at home anyway, so I'm good.
So,
48 degrees Fahrenheit here.
oh wow, we'd be. You know what? We would be wearing boots, thermal socks, thermal underclothes, heavy
Yeah,
winter jackets.
Florida natives, if it drops below 70, they freak out.
Joke. I mean, we walk around with our tops off in this weather, man. Minus. Once we get to minus weather, then you might
Yeah.
think about putting a t-shirt on.
Ooh, no, not here in Florida. Well, Pope, there's two questions that we always ask on interviews now, with our guests.
You never told us that.
So I'm going to ask the questions. It's kind of like a conversation breaker right before the end. Number one, what is your favorite food?
Pizza, and it is actually a calzone.
There you go.
Calzone. Okay.
Yeah. I love a good folded pizza.
Okay.
And
This feeds right into message
toppings?
question number 2.
Question number 2. Here it comes. Paul, do you want to
Here it
deliver
comes.
it?
Pineapple, yes or no on pizza?
Yes.
Get out.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
first one to say yes. He's the
Pineapple
first
for
one.
the
Hey,
win!
I like a good Hawaiian pizza.
Yeah, man.
You like that sweet?
You could have
with
saved
that,
us 2 hours by answering this question at the beginning, because we would have ended the show. Yeah.
No, I do like a good pineapple on pizza.
Wow.
Couldn't say
no.
it's I couldn't say it's something I would have every day, like, but you know.
Okay, I mean that's fair. You know, nothing wrong with a little bit of.
And my
Excuse me while I go and follow you. Hang on, I gotta. No.
My best cake is carrot cake. I like carrot cake.
Ooh. Okay, that's different.
Yeah, that's a pretty popular one in America. Carrot cake.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I like a good.
Love carrot cake. Good cream cheese frosting. Yeah.
Oh no, not in Belgium.
I just, I don't know if you ever had them, but I like the Italian cookies that are like the little squares, pieces of cake. They call them rainbow cookies or 7-layer cookies.
All right. I don't know. I eat a lot of biscotti biscuits.
Okay.
Oh, biscotti, yeah.
Those are
my grandmother's recipe. I gotta make some. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are great with
good.
tea.
Yeah, they break your teeth, like, you know.
That's why you dip them in some tea or some, some.
Nah, I just.
Oh, Pope gets in there with those.
Straight in.
Pope's getting hardcore with the biscotti. Okay.
I do have a sweet tooth, like, I must admit.
Do you know?
I've got a tiramisu waiting for us downstairs.
Nice.
Do you know those?
What is it?
Do you know that from Belgium?
Nah, never had them.
No, you should try them when you come to Belgium.
I know I need to
were
go
done.
back. I need to go back there.
Oh, I'm gonna meet you when you get here. We're gonna message.
Flamish is going to take you to his favorite pizza place in Belgium.
I'll give you a calzone. Yeah. And there's the spots.
Well, Pope, before we get out of here, do you want to tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, you can, is it POPeART _ on Twitter or POPeART Designs, I guess, on Instagram. I do have a TikTok, but I don't really bother that too much with it, even though it's got well over 1,000 followers. But I don't really bother with it. I get somebody else to manage it.
Okay. Well, there you have it. We'll put the socials below the video as well. And I want to give a special thank you to Pope for coming on, hanging out with us, telling us his journey in art, fan art, controllers, and everything else he's ever done.
And there's more coming.
And more coming. I feel like that they should do a documentary on Pope one day. I really feel like they should.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's no secret I did have a Netflix documentary wanting, but I turned it down. I couldn't be bothered with film crews and stuff, so no. This one doesn't matter.
Well, one day, Pope, maybe when you retire from doing so much, maybe I can see it. I can see one of these companies being like, "Hey, let's do a documentary on that guy Pope that did all our contract work for us or whatever."
I tell you, once lockdown's finished, I'm coming to Florida. I'm gonna come and see you clowns.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that sounds like an awesome idea.
Swim with the crocodiles.
Yes. Yes. I'm always, I always joke around saying, "Hey, we're still floating away here. We're crocodiles."
I'm gonna.
Remember though, out here in Florida, especially down where he's at, there's a lot of sunshine. So if you sunburn easy, you might want to.
Oh, I definitely burn.
Do be careful of the babies that steal consoles, though. If you ever heard the story of clowns.
I don't think he has. No. Oh man. So what he's referring to, Pope, I'll tell you real quick, is that I was waiting in line at GameStop. Everybody's waiting in line to get the Series X console on launch. And I'm waiting. And I see there's this girl that just pops in line in front of me, and the guy that's standing there or whatever. And I'm like, "Hey, wait a minute. You can't just hop in line like that." And she's like, "Yes, I can." I'm like, "No, you can't." She's like, he was holding my spot. I said, "He can't hold your spot. Nobody can hold your spot. We're all waiting for Series X's. It's not fair to the people behind me." And she said, "Well, he's holding my baby, and my baby's holding my spot." And I'm like, "Oh, come on. Are you serious?" And the GameStop manager comes out. He tells everybody, "Oh, you make the Series X or you get the Series S, blah, blah, blah." Gets up to me. He goes, "Oh, sorry. The lady in front of you just got the last Series X. So we got a Series S for you." And I'm like, "Do you know she used the baby to hold her spot in line?" And then she turned around and said, "No, I didn't use my baby. I'm with him too." And then I was like, "Well, you can't be from the same household." And then she turned around, she said, "Yeah, but we're living separately." She kept changing her story. And I was like, "Man, this is not fair." So I said a few kind words very politely. And the crowd behind me agreed with me. They cheered me on for my kind words of encouragement. And when I get into GameStop and I talk to the manager, he's like, "Listen, man, I'm really sorry about what happened." He's like, he goes, "I believe you, but she showed a different ID and we kind of have to go on that." He's like, "So the next Series X's that we get in, I will hold one aside for you and call you and that he did keep his word, so I was happy about that. But
that's
man,
good then, huh?
Yeah. But no baby better steal my POPeART controller when I order one.
I know. I mean, yeah, I'll get there eventually, man. I'll get there. Let's just get Christmas out the way first.
Oh yes, yes.
Or do Christmas controller.
No, don't you just stop it.
I got 100 different ideas, Pope. If you ever need an idea because you don't you can't
don't even get him started.
Don't listen to his ideas. But I will. Do you guys know? Do you guys know when Pope's birthday is? I remember this. He said Christmas.
Baby? Is he a Christmas baby? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I forget people's birthdays.
So mine is this Saturday. Yours is next Saturday. Okay.
It's my wife's Christmas Eve, and then I'm Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So don't forget to wish Pope happy birthday.
You forget better.
So we all feel the pain together there, Pope.
Yeah, I know, it's shit having a winter birthday. Nobody comes to my party on Christmas Day either.
No.
Everyone's got their toys to play with, so they don't want to come to my party.
Yeah.
and you and me both.
I've never had
we both got the combination gifts. This is for birthday and Christmas.
Yeah, you do. The joint presents. It's like, really, you bastard.
Oh man.
No, I'll let you get off, and I'll go and I don't know. Think of something else I can create. No, Flemish, I'm not doing that one either.
I'm saying nothing. I'm just bringing out ideas like crazy.
He's just giving you a preemptive no. Just whatever it is you were about to say.
You might get
I know exactly what I need.
A long message from Flamish on Twitter with 10,000 ideas, in a couple of days, knowing Flamish. So
if he wants to say it,
and then when he does one of them, it's like, yes, I said it.
That's generally that's how it happens. So if you don't mention anything, you basically not see it.
Yeah.
Because I can't read your mind,
Of course.
That's what he says.
So most of it's just joke anyway. I mean,
I'm
grateful for that one design that I had. So, and that was just like, can you make one for my podcast? That's all I want.
All right, I need to stop Flamish here because he's gonna try to blinger this on and go somewhere. Doing something.
Let's find a way to end this show.
So, Pope, thank you for coming on. It's been a long time coming, and when you come to the States, definitely need to go out and find some real pizza, get a calzone, And thank you again.
This is the wrong part of the country for that.
No worries, and hopefully I'll might get some time off over Christmas to game ways again, and then also have a wonderful Christmas, guys.
You too. Happy holidays, man.
Happy holidays. Happy birthday.
For sure.
I hope you get. And happy birthday for you. If I'll not forget, I will see you on Twitter World, But
yep.
Yes, that's it. I'm gonna go and post me Spider-Man controller, and then that's it.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna sign off.
You're the first.
Well, I will.
As soon as it gets posted, it might be posted. Yeah. So there you go.
No, I haven't hit the send button yet.
Ooh, I'm waiting for this. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap up the show, and as soon as you post that, I'm gonna retweet that 1,000 times and tag everybody at Marvel I know, because it's always great art. And Paul and AK Gregory Goyverts, thank you for coming on as well. We need to come up with a name for Flamish, like Pink Pillow Man or something. But everybody, thank you for watching. You got a real deep insight into Pope and the art. So leave your comments, drop it below, listen on the podcast feeds, let us know. And thank you, and tune in next time. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.